Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up. The question is, will you wake up as the commander or as the prisoner of your own day? Most people lose the battle before they even have their coffee, not because of lack of talent or luck, but because they start weak. They open their eyes and immediately hand their mind over to complaints, comparisons, and noises that drain their energy. It's like stepping into a fight with your hands tied and your eyes blindfolded. You don't even know who hit you, but you're already down. The Stoic doesn't do this. He starts in strategic mode, shaping the inner world before the outer world tries to dictate the pace. Because the first hour of the morning is the most important training ground of the day, and whoever dominates that hour dominates the rest. It's not about yelling motivation into the mirror or following productivity trends. It's about putting your mind in a state of real strength before the sun even warms the earth. And that's exactly what I'm going to give you here. 8 Stoic secrets, direct, simple, and precise, that will put you mentally ahead of 90% of people before breakfast. These are weapons you can use as soon as tomorrow to wake up in control, firm, and unbeatable. But pay attention, it's not enough to listen, you have to apply. Take a deep breath, because the first lesson starts now, and it might change your next 24 hours forever. One, the first word of the day. In the very first seconds after waking up, there's an invisible but decisive moment. It's when your mind is still a bit sleepy, vulnerable, and everything that enters there spreads through the whole day. Most people give this precious instant to chaos. Phone, bad news, gossip, comparison. It's as if, before even putting on their armor, the soldier opens the gates to the enemy. The conscious man doesn't waste this space. He understands that the first word he thinks or says is a seed, and wrong seeds grow into bitter harvests. The difference between starting the day saying, "What a drag, another day," and "Today I am in control," is like the difference between an anchor and a catapult. One drags you down, the other launches you forward. This has nothing to do with overblown motivational phrases, but with clear and truthful mental commands. Like the sunflower that, at sunrise, turns toward the light, and on cloudy days, turns toward other sunflowers. It doesn't wait for the weather to improve to align itself. It simply positions itself. In the same way, you can wake up tired but still choose your direction. A practical example? Tomorrow, when you wake up, don't touch your phone. Sit up, breathe, and say something simple, firm, and realistic to sustain. Today I act even without desire, or today I don't negotiate with weakness. Repeat it mentally for 10 seconds with posture and steady breathing. It may seem small, but it changes your brain chemistry. It's the equivalent of turning your body toward the light even when the sky is gray. Because in the end, it's not about how the day starts outside, but how it starts inside you. 2. Don't negotiate with the weak mind. The mind has 2 voices. One is firm, clear, and knows what must be done. The other is soft, persuasive, always ready to offer you comfort disguised as care. This weak part is a master of excuses. Just 5 more minutes. Not today. I'll do it later. It seems harmless, but every time you give in, you lose a little respect for yourself. The problem is that this pattern becomes ingrained, and without realizing it, you start every day training yourself to fail right in the morning. It's like starting a race by tripping in the first meter. The Stoic man doesn't play this game. He knows that negotiating with the weak part is giving up command. When the alarm goes off, he doesn't debate, he gets up. When laziness says, "Leave it for later," he responds with action. Not because he's always motivated, but because he understands that each victory over himself strengthens his inner authority. He's like a lion. If he gives in to fatigue, he loses the hunt, and in real life, Losing the hunt means losing opportunities, self-respect, and progress. Want to apply this in practice? Tomorrow, when the thought, "I'll postpone," comes, do the exact opposite. If you think, "I can't train today," put on your shoes. If you think, "This is too heavy," tell yourself, "This is what makes me stronger," and keep going. This is not about ignoring real fatigue or limits, but about eliminating lazy concessions. Action is the language the weak part doesn't understand. And the earlier you act in the day, the easier it is to keep that command until night. 3. Who commands, mind or ego? The body is a battlefield. On one side, the rational mind, which seeks purpose and growth. On the other, the ego, thirsty for applause, comfort, and instant gratification. The problem is that the ego is clever. It disguises itself as deserving. You've worked hard, you can relax. Show everyone who you are. But the ego builds nothing solid. It stacks quick pleasures and, in the end, leaves a pile of emotional debris. The clear mind builds with purpose, stone by stone, even if no one is watching. Think of the pyramids of Egypt. They didn't arise from impulse or vanity. They were built with calculation, direction, and firm command. Each stone had its place, each effort had meaning. If every worker decided to act on ego, "I don't feel like it today, I'll do it my way," none of it would exist. Life works the same way. Inner wonders only come when the body obeys the mind, not the ego. Rational command is what transforms scattered effort into lasting work. Want to know who's on the throne of your mind? It's simple. The ego chooses what pleases you now. The mind chooses what strengthens you later. If the ego says, "Skip training, you deserve to rest," and the mind says, "Go," precisely because you're tired, your decision will reveal who's in charge. And if you want the mind to remain in command, you must train it every day. Because if the ego gets used to giving orders, taking them back will be painful. But from that pain comes self-respect, and the body always obeys the one who knows how to command. 4. You are not a victim of your feelings. Feeling is inevitable. What's not inevitable is kneeling before what you feel. Sadness, fear, anger, anxiety, they will all show up, sometimes first thing in the morning, but they are not commands, only signals. The average man uses "I'm not in the mood" as an excuse to stop. The Stoic uses it as a reason to move forward. Because he knows that if he depends on feeling good to act, he will spend his life waiting for a perfect alignment that never comes. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, a man wakes up exhausted and in a bad mood, and lets that define his whole day. He complains, drags himself around, and spreads irritation. In the second, the same man wakes up the same way, but takes a deep breath, has a cold shower, dresses with dignity, and goes about his day. He doesn't pretend to be happy, but he keeps his posture. By the end of the day, he may be tired, but he is whole, and that wholeness didn't come from his feelings, but from his choices. In practice, it's simple. Next time you feel something negative, acknowledge it. "Okay, I'm irritated," and keep going. Not with anger, but with clarity. Feelings are visitors, not tenants. And the more you act in spite of them, the more you learn that you are the one who decides. This is not coldness, it's self-control. Because life will not stop and wait for your mood to improve, but you can choose to navigate any storm without giving up the helm. 5. Your value does not depend on results. We live in a world obsessed with visible proof of success. Numbers, status, recognition. Most people have learned to measure their own worth based on these, as if without applause or achievements they are worth nothing. But results, however important, are full of factors beyond our control. Posture is not. That belongs to you every day, from the moment you wake up. And it's posture that reveals who you really are, especially when there's no audience. Epicteto said, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react." And reacting with strength when everything is going well is easy. The challenge is keeping your spine straight when the numbers aren't there, when no one notices, when everything seems stuck. It's in this emptiness that the Stoic stands out, because he doesn't act to prove something, he acts because it's his nature to do what's right. Results, to him, are a consequence, not a condition. Want a practical test? Think of something you need to do today that will not bring immediate results. Work on a project, study a subject, train alone. Now do it with the same level of attention and dignity as if millions were watching. This changes your standard. Because a man's value is not in how much he produces under applause, but in how much he maintains excellence in silence. 6. Comparison is morning poison. Few things drain as much strength in the morning as opening your eyes and immediately measuring your life by someone else's yardstick. Morning comparison is a silent poison. While you look at someone else's stage, you forget to take care of your own backstage. The Stoic understands that nothing another person achieves is under his control, and therefore does not waste energy competing in races that aren't his. He starts the day to his own rhythm. Nature gives a perfect example: the waterfall. It doesn't try to be deeper than the lake or wider than the river. It simply falls with power every day, without asking permission and without caring who's watching. That's the power of identity. It doesn't need comparison to exist. But when you wake up measuring your progress by others, you feed insecurity and self-criticism, suffocating the energy you could use to build what's yours. Want to neutralize this poison? Tomorrow, before opening social media or checking what others are doing, breathe and look at your own goal. Ask yourself, what can I do today to be 1% better than yesterday? This is the only type of comparison that strengthens you, because it's fair. It doesn't put you against an edited stage, but against your own stagnation. And winning this daily battle is what truly changes the game. 7. Be calm, not slow. Many people confuse calmness with laziness. They think that someone who speaks little, breathes deeply, and moves at their own pace is slow or falling behind. But true calmness is not the absence of movement, it's total presence in each step. Slowness comes from indecision and a scattered mind. Calmness comes from clarity and inner mastery. The Stoic man doesn't live running without direction, but he also doesn't stand still waiting for the world to decide for him. Think of snipers. They are not the fastest, but the most precise. They control their breathing, heartbeat, and posture to act at the exact right moment. This is the essence of calmness, not rushing from anxiety, nor delaying from insecurity. While the slow mind misses opportunities, the calm mind chooses the right moment and hits the target. And this applies as much to business decisions as to important conversations or life changes. In practice, you can cultivate this steady calm with 3 morning habits. Breathe consciously, define clearly what is the day's priority, and act as soon as the right moment arrives, without stalling. This puts you in a strategic rhythm, where you waste no energy from running too much or waiting too long. Because calmness, when well trained, is a kind of power that few master. 8. Avoid starting the day talking too much. In the morning, your energy is like a full reservoir. Every word you speak takes a little of that strength with it. The problem is that many people wake up and start pouring out complaints, pointless comments, and unfiltered outbursts. It's like opening the faucet and letting the water run for no reason. The Stoic knows that the first hours of the day are sacred territory, and that silence at this time is not absence, but construction. The story of Ricardo illustrates this well. He woke up and talked about the electric bill, the fridge noise, the traffic, his colleague being late, politics, all before 9 a.m. By the time he noticed, he was already mentally drained, even though nothing serious had happened. It wasn't the day that took him down, it was the words he threw away. Those who say everything they think in the morning, without filter, hand over control before they've even assumed command. Want to change this? Tomorrow, in the first minutes after waking, breathe. Don't pick up your phone, don't get into discussions, don't fill the silence for no reason. Only speak if it's truly necessary and useful. You'll notice that you preserve energy, focus, and presence for when you really need to position yourself. Because those who control their voice also control their strength. And starting the day like this is entering the battle with your sword already sharpened. Now you know, what you do in the first hours of the day is not a detail, it's destiny. Every thought, every choice, every word in the morning builds or destroys the warrior you will be until nightfall. The question is, tomorrow, will you wake up as the protagonist or as the victim? Will you lead your mind or let it be taken over by laziness, ego, and comparison? It's no use saying, "I'll try." Either you decide now or you'll fall into the same cycle as always. So write it down, tomorrow is training. Get up, choose your first word, don't negotiate with weakness, silence what doesn't serve, and put your energy into what truly matters. You'll feel the difference on the very first day, and if you keep it up, you'll change your pattern forever. And before you go, I want to know, which of these 8 secrets will you apply first tomorrow? Comment below, because when you write it, you reinforce your commitment. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join me every day to strengthen this mind. Because discipline is built in practice, and here, every day is training day.